So working in the core facility, we are working with a lot of samples with a lot of sources. For example, we are working with the biofluids, or we are working with the tissue samples, FFPE, and so on. So this wide variety of samples, we really need a method that can be used to produce more uniform proteins and peptides. And we found Covaris to be really useful in that regard. And again, we got a lot of support from the Covaris team to basically streamline the process, but we found Covaris to be a really good fit for the high throughput sample preparations for the proteomic method. One of the major bottlenecks in the proteomics is the sample preparation. And again, sample preparation is coming from the different aspect and the different cells. As you guys know, we don't have that amplification process that genomics and the RNA sequencing are using, and therefore we heavily rely on the quality of the sample and the proteins that we capture using different methods. So again, I think Covaris in that regard fits perfectly in the workflow that we push the boundaries of the mass spectrometry from one sample at a time to few samples and hopefully to more samples in future. And definitely that's going to help us with the numbers that eventually helps with the statistics and more uniformity that we can get in the data that reflects the quality of the samples and that reflects basically how we prepare the samples for the mass spectrometer. One of the major challenges for the preparations of the samples is the uniformity. And again, previously, many of the sample preparations were done by hand in the very low throughput fashion. The AFA technology helped us to use this system at the high throughput. And we have seen in our data that using this high throughput, at the end, for very difficult samples, we are getting beautiful uniform data for the intensity that we capture using the mass spectrometry. Of course, a lot has to go in it, including the sample preparations. The instrument, they have to work at a really high level, but using a lot of the QC, using the Spectronaut, basically quick software, we are able to produce beautiful, high throughput, uniform data using samples that are usually really hard to crack. And this is a benefit of marrying a really successful sample preparation and a really successful data analysis pipeline. And again, our clients are super happy with this pipeline, and so are we. So thank you so much.